Hello, you choco fucks. It's your boy Dark Raccoon here with What If Issei Had a Minecraft Secret Gear Part 6. Wait. Yeah, Part 6. Now, this is where, I should mention one thing. I recorded like 1 hour and 23 minutes of a redo What If that I did a while ago, but yeah, not the point. I did it for 1 hour, so I'm gonna do this one for like a couple of minutes and then, yeah. Now, not the point. Let me get into this what if. Let me shut the fuck up and let me just begin. Okay? So we begin into Issei. Now Issei is right now on his bed, thinking that mostly he started waking up because the sun was cracking through mostly his blind, well, mostly his window, and of course hitting his face, even though he doesn't really want to wake up anytime soon. This is where he cracked one of his eyes open until he cracked both of them. Both of his eyes went widen instantly, really fast, but of course they actually become silver in an instant. And this is where they went back to golden and brown. Well, he actually saw what was both girls right now being really close to him, like laying on his chest, being that of Junko and Invil. And of course, they are like laying on top of his chest, and this is where he says, "What the hell did I do? I can't remember last night." Because Issei can barely remember last night. Well, he can remember basically, uh, he can remember mostly, let me say it again. He can remember, well, mostly kind of, like, they were playing video games until a while, until mostly both of them started making out with him, and of course, he was kind of already tired from that whole day and other things, so of course, mostly that happened, and this is where, well, he doesn't know anything anymore, because he thinks he probably passed out. He does have his shirt on, mostly, yeah, his shirt, his pants, well, mostly his shorts still on, his black shorts, and of course, mostly having no socks, but yeah. But both girls are right now in their kind of like, mostly bra and like panties. That's how much clothes they have. Well, Inville has kind of like these lightish purple kind of like bra and what's it called, panties. Junko has mostly like a black and white kind of bra and panties. Listen, well, Issei sees this, and of course he is trying to resist hard enough so he won't have a blood nose, and also mostly his little, what's it called? Mostly his diamond sword from waking up and arising from the dead. Or mostly, yeah, you get the point. This is where, well, he's just trying not to arise. This is where, well, he's just looking up, trying to think about something else. Yes, think about something else. Until he remembers Tech the Blade's battle with him to fight against, well, against the Potato Wars. He knows his season of Potato Wars is about to end about in only like 3 days left. Issei cannot give up. He cannot lose the crown of the Potato King. He needs to become the Potato King. There will be no one to stop him. He refused to lose. But yeah. Well, when he tries to get up, both girls start kind of moving, and of course put their kind of like chest even closer towards Issei, and of course start laying even closer on his chest, and those are Issei right now trying to not arise to dead. Mostly from his pants, and this is where, well, Issei says, "Damn it, girls, you gotta stop this. This is going to, I'm gonna have blood nose. I'm gonna have way too much of huge blood nose. No, 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 no." He's trying to stop himself, but this is where both girls are keep kind of like rubbing themselves onto Issei. And this is where, well, Issei says, "I'm going to literally have a blood nose and pass out. Isn't that what they're gonna try to do to me?" So this is where, well, both girls keeps doing that, and this is where, well, Issei managed to notice that his table, like near his table, had his headphones. This is where he grabs and right now turns him on. Notice that his phone is, well, not turns him on, mostly notice that his phone is still connected to his headphones. Puts them on, and of course, where, well, he started hearing the song called Dem Days from mostly Blacklit District. And this is where, well, he then decides to put both of his arms around the girls just because he knows that they are kind of considered to be his fiancés anyway. But he's just hearing songs. Of course, decides to just, well, mostly be around them for a second. This is where, well, we go into a couple, mostly days passing, well, not a couple days passing by, mostly an hour passing by, until mostly Issei's parents manage to get home after a while. And when mostly Mika decides to go check on Issei to see if he wants to eat and other stuff, because yeah, Most of his parents wasn't here the day yesterday. It was because, well, yeah, they went to kind of do something. But yeah, this is where, well, Mika decides to open the door and says, Issei, are you awake? Damn it, stop. This is where, well, she stopped in the middle of a pause sentence and sees Issei being right now covered, well, mostly being next to two girls, while having his arm around these two girls, and the two girls are right now just cuddling up with Issei. This is where, well, Mika squeals a little bit, but this is where she runs back downstairs, grabs her camera. Right now, tells Goro to shut the hell up in an instant, and Goro didn't even say anything. And this is where Mika rushes back upstairs. This is where she decides to take multiple pictures and what she's actually seeing. Issei is being really good to the girls by just cuddling up with them and not doing anything perverted, just having his arms around mostly their kind of waist. But yeah, while he's actually over here sleeping. But yeah. Now this is where Mika kind of takes multiple pictures angles, side angles, and this is where she also decides to get Issei's blanket and put it around the girls and also Issei. This is where, well, Issei's confused, and this is where he started cracking his eyes open, even the girls, because they felt mostly the warm blanket. This is where, well, when she started yawning, this is where, well, they look up, mostly look up, and then sees Issei, while Issei kind of takes off his headphones. He kind of looks up towards his mother, and this is where Issei says, Mom? This is where, well, both girls kind of just like start up and kind of look up towards Issei and sees Mika, and this is where both of their face becomes crimsonly, well, terrifyingly red. This is where, well, Issei said, Mom, what the hell are you doing? This is where Mika says, Oh, don't worry, son, I'm just getting a lot of photos for the two girls that you're gonna have children with. So I'm happy to know that you actually managed to get two girls to have children with you. They're not, what's it called? Or this is where, well, both of them say, No, we're not. This is where, well, this is where Mika says, Oh, thank goodness. Well, what are you then? This is where, well, Junko and even, well, Infeld blush and says, we're his fiancés. This is where, well, right now Mika, she looks up, then looks back at the camera, looks back up, and right now with widened eyes and says, Issei? Issei says, uh, uh, I completely forgot to tell you this, Mom, but I just kind of became fiancés with them about a day ago. I forgot to call you. I, I, um, I can explain. This is where, well, Mika says, You better start explaining. You're saying that you have two beautiful women, two beautiful girls that are considered your fiancés, and you didn't say anything? You could have called me. You could have told me about your fiancés. You could have like told me the fact that you two were going to be sleeping, or all three of you were going to be sleeping, and that means you could three had grandchildren at the time we two came back from mostly visiting your grandparents. Issei, you just didn't say anything. So does that mean that you knocked them up already? This is where she said in an instance right there, Issei and mostly past mostly both of the girls and kind of just said Issei. Issei said, his face becomes extremely red. His eyes become silver in an instant, just out of embarrassment for a second. And this is where Issei kind of closes his eyes, saying, No! This is where, well, mostly Mika says, Oh, come on, Issei, you don't need to lie. I mean, you all were kind of, then again, you did have clothing on. But still, I guess you're right. You didn't knock them up. Which is sad because I was hoping for grandchildren. Why won't you give me grandchildren, Issei? Issei looks at his mother and says, Mom, stop. This is where, well, Mika says, I'm not gonna stop. I'm just saying, Issei, why didn't you just knock them up, give me some grandchildren, give me and your father some grandchildren? Issei looks at his mother just with confused eyes and says, Mom, please stop with this. This is where, well, Mika says, No, I need to know, Issei, why? Issei says, Mom, if you gotta know, I didn't do it because they're my friends. Why would I do something like that to them? This is where, well, Mika says, I guess you're right. Wait, I thought they were fiancés. They are my friend's fiancés, okay? This is where, well, Mika says, Well, I'm glad to have two daughter-in-laws. So hello, you two. Are you sisters or are you kind of just separate? This is where, well, they both say separate. And this is where Mika says, Okay, then what are your names? This is where she grins at them. This is where, well, most of the blonde haired girl says, The name's Junko and Ashima. This is where, well, Mika says, Very cute name. What about you? This is where Info says, Info Lafate. This is where, well, Mika says, very cute names. Not gonna lie, you got two cute ones, Issei. I wonder how cute how cute the children will be. Oh my gosh, I want to know how cute my grandchildren will be. This is where, well, Issei says, Mom, can you please get out of my room? This is where she says, fine, but you know, breakfast is ready. Issei says, yeah. This is where, well, Issei right now sighs and looks at the two girls where they're already crimson red and innocent, but yeah. Issei says, sorry about my mom. Also, what did we actually do last night? Because I don't remember anything. This is where, well, mostly they kind of switch up and say, you passed out when we were kind of making out with you. This is where Issa says, wait, really? Holy, okay. So, after all that mess with mostly Mika and, Mika and the fact that she found out she had two daughter-in-laws, this is where Mika was jumping up and down, being so happy and so giddy. This is where, well, Goto kind of wanted the question, and what happened? This is where, well, Mika says that she basically has two daughter-in-laws, and they're so cute, and the fact that Issei going to have children with them, and this is where, well, she then says that she will then have so many grandchildren from all three of them, and this is where, well, mostly Goto's confused and say, three? Wait, what? This is where, well, Goto thinks about Issei's favorite thing of being a harem king. This is where Goto says, he has a harem? No, he only has two girls. So now shut the hell up. Not gonna lie, I wonder how many children I would get from two of them. Maybe I can get twins from them. Or maybe triplets. This is where she's going on and round and on. And this is where Goto is confused. Until we go into Issei walking downstairs. Now, Issei has a black button-up shirt with a black coat. And this is where he has black pants with kind of like black boots. But yeah, he kind of looks like Sanju Woo. Now, this is where, well, mostly behind him is two of the girls that he kind of been sleeping with a little bit. Or mostly just sleeping with them, not actually sexually, but just kind of just slept with them on accident. This is where, well, mostly both of them are, well, Junko is wearing a kind of, well, and this is what she's wearing. She's basically wearing a black kind of like skirt with black kind of like long thigh socks or whatever. This is where she's wearing a pink kind of like coat that has a heart, but yeah. Has kind of a black and white heart on her top of her hair and does kind of have a kind of palish, but yeah. So she's somewhat wearing something like this, kind of purple outfit that doesn't have the cat tail or the cow ears, but yeah. This is where when they walk downstairs, they kind of just like wear the outfit like that, and this is where, well, both Mika and Goro just were dumbfounded. Issei looks more like a professional badass, while behind him, his two kind of fiancés look like, well, not professional, but mostly kind of suitable for mostly Issei's taste and liking. Which mostly they just use magic to kind of act like this, but yeah. Now, of course, where, well, Issei is kind of, well, looking at his mom and dad, while mostly Goro is just dumbfounded, saying, son, I need to talk to you about something. This is where, well, he grabs his son from mostly the kind of back and just, like, take him outside. This is where Mika goes up to both of them and screams and says, oh my gosh, you two girls are so cute. Oh my gosh. So when are you two going to actually have children with him? This is where, well, both of Junko and even Invil's faces becomes even red. Just more red. Now, this is where, well, mostly, Mika says, oh right, I forgot about parent-teacher conference. Mostly the whole, mostly open house, since it would be later on. So I really want to meet your parents. This is where Junko says, I don't really have a mom, I have a dad. You can talk to him. This is where, well, Mika says, oh sure, I'll talk to him. This is where she then looks at mostly Invil. Invil says, I have an uncle, I don't really have a mom or dad. Well, I have a mom, but she's right now in America. This is where, well, I came to Japan to visit my uncle, but my uncle is going to have to move away, and I don't really want to move away from mostly Issei. So, can I live here? This is where Invil said, in a very gentle kind of tone, while mostly Mika says, I have no problem with that. You can live here, and you can also live here, Junko-chan. You two can live here. Besides, I trust you to be my daughter-in-law, so of course, I don't care. This is where, well, and they blush still, but yeah. While we go into Goro and Issei walking back, while Issei's face is completely freaking red, and the fact that his father gave him some rubber stuff to actually make sure to be protected a little bit, but at the same time, he then tell his son to one time, just you're gonna have to go all out without protection because you don't know. Maybe you run out or something. That's where Issei's face was completely red from that whole freaking talk. He hated the fact that his father had to go on with that bullcrap. Of course, Issei doesn't really mind the idea, the thought of it, but at the same time, he doesn't feel like doing that as a perverted joke or any of that. He likes both girls, but still, the fact that his father was just kind of doing some like pervert jokes and of course kind of telling him that if you do that, you know, and if you bring grandchildren, we don't mind. We will take care of them, even if you have to go to school. This is where, well, Issei says, stop it already. This is where, well, mostly his father is chuckling at mostly Issei's antics. His face is mostly completely pink. Of course, Goto is shocked to actually believe his son is actually more innocent than he actually thought. This is where, well, Goto says, oh, come on, Issei. You know you're going to be a pervert. You're going to make them believe the true pervert side. This is where Issei says, okay, we're done here. Issei completely just tuned out his father by putting earbuds and just walking inside. This is where Goto is chuckling, and of course, this is where Issei's face was completely red. This is where Miko is chuckling also. Seeing her kind of son being completely red. It's the first, well, it's not really the first time, but he's actually more red and flushing, looking away most of the time. From seeing both of his girls just looking kind of away. This is where, well, both Goro and Miko actually just like teasing them because it's funny to see their son actually have two people that actually are interested in him. Now, of course, where, well, they do eat and say that they're gonna go outside, but yeah, mostly to just walk around the park or something. This is where, well, they said, well, goodbye. Don't, if you two are, or if you three are going to have children, make sure to do it inside the house or somewhere private. Don't do it in the middle of public. We don't want you to get arrested, Issei. Issei said, I won't do something like that in the middle. Ah! This is where Issei kind of gets annoyed from his parents, but yeah. This is where, well, they're kind of just walking around, and of course, this is where, well, they keep just talking and just like walking around, making sure that no one is actually following them. Or really, they don't really care if people are following them, but this is where, well, 4 people are actually following Issei's mostly kind of date out with mostly Invel and even Junko, but yeah. Of course, those 4 are actually none other than, what's it called, a girl with whitish hair, kind of having bluish eyes. This is where, well, not bluish eyes, goldenish eyes. This is where, well, another girl with kind of like blackish hair and reddish eyes, or mostly magenta eyes. Then this is where 2 others who are actually a part of some of the supernatural, but really, this is where a girl with pinkish hair, or brownish eyes, and of course, brownish hair with kind of brownish eyes also. This is where, well, they keep just looking at mostly this somewhat date with mostly Junko and Invel. And of course, Issei being in the middle. Now, he looks quite professional and quite handsome because he does have his hair slicked back to kind of looking like Aizen, mostly from Bleach, but yeah. And yes, he is quite a big fan of anime, but yeah. This is where, well, he does have one of his bangs right in the middle. And of course, mostly, the 2 girls do not mind Issei doing something similar to this because it's quite kind of making Issei kind of good looking, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei then looks behind him and looks at both of the girls that he's actually kind of been just talking and, well, yeah. Talking and walking. Now, of course, where, well, they kind of go to the mall just because Invel kind of wanted to go, but yeah, even Junko. Issei really didn't mind. So, of course, they go towards mostly the mall. Now, this is where, well, Issei did not really notice the people that were signature behind them. Of course, it were Junko and Invel then noticed, and Junko was hating the fact that these people are right now stalking them. This is where, well, Invel did notice a signature, a magical signature that she is quite familiar for. And that is none other than her uncle kind of spying on her. But yeah, being Ajuka. This is where, well, Ajuka is keeping an eye on Invel and mostly, well, Issei in the fact with the other girl. But yeah. Now this is where someone is right now kind of in a PC cafe right now, kind of drinking something, having a newspaper, and having a hat. Somewhat fedora hat. It is not Donut, but mostly It's mostly someone that basically took Donutty's hat just for the liberty of keeping an eye on mostly his daughter, right? Kind of going on a date with Issei. But yeah, this is where, well, of course, with all that happening, mostly Issei can actually feel his parents also kind of spying on them. This is where, well, Issei said, anyone can feel mostly we're getting watched. And this is where, well, Junko, Invel, and even Issei nodded. Well, mostly Junko and Invel nodded. And this is where, well, Issei says, do you want to run for it and kind of get to the mall and kind of escape them from there? This is where they nod, and this is where they start kind of booking it. Now, of course, this is where, well, they kind of get to the mall and, of course, go inside. And, of course, go into, like, the first store that they, mostly the people that are following them, wouldn't expect. So, of course, the first store they go into is basically, like, a comic book, like, store. So, of course, when people rush into the mall, they went towards mostly the clothing store. Just to check on that. Because they know damn well that, well, they can only guess in their imagination thoughts that something's going to happen. Because why would they run? So yeah, this is where, well, someone with green hair, mostly having green hair. Well, mostly, not really green hair. He does have green hair, but he has a hat over his green hair. And of course, a hood and having what's it called, also glasses. This is where he has a fake white mustache. And of course, looking like an old man walking with a cane. But yeah. This is none other than the Joker trying to just keep an eye on Invel. This is Markmo. Behind him is a man with a fedora on his head, a brown coat, and of course, this is where, well, the brown, he kind of looks like from back then, like from the 19s. He has a clock watch and just looking in while kind of walking into the store. This is where, well, two kind of older looking people walking with brown hair, with both of them having brownish hair. One have darker brown hair, the other one having lightish brown hair. They both have kind of glasses, and they are right now disguised as elderly loving couple. This is they're walking in. Now this is where, well, four girls actually appear right now, all disguised in different outfits, and mostly a girl with pinkish hair is now changed to bluish hair. A girl with kind of brownish hair is changed to kind of yellowish hair, like blondish. And the other two are kind of just changed to, well, instead of having white silverish hair, it is completely black. Well, yeah, just completely black. And of course, the last one is kind of just white instead of black. That's where, well, they're trying to keep an eye on where Issei and Invel and also Junko went, but yeah. This is where, well, they're in the comic store just kind of like checking out the comics and other stuff. Even though they're trying to escape from their kind of crazy psychotic friends slash mostly mom and dad for Issei. Of course, is where, well, Invel's uncle, of course, is where Junko's actually father and her kind of crazy friends slash sisters. This is where, well, Issei is not saying, okay, we're not gonna have any like private time for us because they're gonna keep chasing us down. This is where they both nod and say, so, want to teleport to another place? This is where Issei said to another, what's it called, location of, well, mostly Japan. This is where they kind of shake their heads and said they don't really want to go to another place because, well, they don't know about the whole territory and other stuff. This is where Issei nodded and says, that is true. It's going to be such a bother, the fact that mostly my parents are basically spying on us. And also the fact that, never mind. This is where Issei's kind of getting annoyed, but yeah. This is where, well, Issei then thinks about it and says, I would summon a warden, but then people would get scared of this place. So not gonna do that. This is where, well, they're just gonna say, so we just wait in the comic store. We say we can still feel their signature, even though if they try to suppress it enough. You can sense them also, right? Yep. This is where they wait for like 2 hours in the comic book store, kind of reading some of the comic books, and this is where, well, mostly we go into mostly everyone who was trying to spy on the date and other stuff decides to just go home because they realize they probably went home. They're probably at home right now kind of doing it. And of course, this is where they're rushing outside to kind of catch the date or catch the last glimpse of whatever is happening. But yeah, this is where Issei and of course, Issei kind of shook his head saying, well, mostly nod his head saying that they're gone. Every last one of them. And this is where, well, they get out of the comic book store. Issei they buy some comic books just because. Why not? This is where, well, he was reading a pretty good comic book that was basically the Infinity Stone made of whatever bullcrap. But yeah, don't worry about that. Or not the Infinity Stone comic. No, it was basically Thanos right now collecting all Infinity Stones and right now kind of losing the gauntlet towards Deadpool. I don't know if that's actually a thing, but I'm gonna just say it's a thing because fuck you. Now this is where, well, we go into Issei and even Inville and Junko kind of get into the clothing shop. And of course, where, well, Issei is kind of sitting down in a chair. He doesn't really need clothing. He can always make his own clothing, which is basically creative mode slash not really creative mode. This is where, well, Issei is kind of just sitting on a chair. This is where, well, Inville and Junko are just giggling while Issei is confused. But this is where, well, we go into mostly Issei kind of just sitting there and just waiting. This is where, well, Junko tells Issei that he can come in or mostly just look. When they get out, this is where, well, Issei said, what do you mean come in? This is where when he goes into the blindfold, he sees, well, Junko kind of wearing a kind of like black latex, latex bra and other stuff. And this is where, well, Issei wanted to have a blood nose. This is where, well, Inville asked him to go into her booth, which also Issei also wanted to have a blood nose. But he stopped himself so fast, trying to like not do it. This is where Issei goes back outside right now, covering his eyes so he doesn't show his crimson red eyes. Well, not crimson red eyes. His crimson, well, mostly blush. And just kind of looking away. But yeah, that's where both girls are just giggling more. Of course, where, well, they tell Issei to go into the booth that they were in. And of course, where, well, Issei decided to go into the same booth that mostly Inville and Junko were in. And this is where, well, they were basically in basically, they did not have any clothes. Which Issei blushed in an instant crimsonly red. And this is where Issei says, oh, well, I didn't know you girls are still not finished changing. This is where, well, they kind of giggle and say, you think we weren't finished changing? Yeah, right. We were finished changing. We just want to have a little bit more fun because we know we aren't going to have that later on. But besides, even though if we have a little bit of fun with you, you know we're not going to be able to have kids since we are kind of fallen in devil. This is where, well, Issei nodded and said, well, still, this is where, well, he's blushing madly red because, yeah. But of course, where both of the girls managed to convince him, and of course, we go into a time skip, and I'm not going into detail. You already know what happened. Yeah, that happened. This is where, well, not eat it. Mostly Issei did it about, I'm gonna just say he did it about like 7 times. He had about, what's it called, 3 condoms, and those other 4 times, yeah, you get the point. This is where, well, Issei was kind of dried out, and of course the 2 girls were basically just kind of grinning at the fact that mostly they're satisfied instantly. This is where, well, Issei kind of just looks up towards the 2 girls while they're satisfied. Issei looks to be dried somewhat, and this is where Issei said, he feels great also, but still just dried a little bit. This is where, well, he just managed to regen also thanks to his eyes going into white lightning. Mostly they became white, purely white, and lightning crackles around them. This is where they disappear. This is where back to a goldenish brown, and Issei just feels back regenerated. Back to full health, instead of being so dried. Issei says, are you girls done? This is where, well, he looks at the girls, and the girls right now are finishing changing back to their original clothes, and saying, oh, of course we're done. Unless you want to go for another like 18 rounds or even 80 or more. This is where, well, they're kind of giggling, trying to see if Issei is willing to do it. Issei says, hell no, and trying to be caught about 2 times? Yeah, that's not happening. This is where they giggle and say, fine. Where do you think you want to do it? I don't care if it's a hotel, motel, or whatever. Or even probably my own house when my parents leave. Okay. This is where, well, they get out of the booth, and of course they went to go and like buy some stuff that made turn on Issei pretty fast, but yeah. But this is where, well, when after that kind of mostly investment and buying some money and other stuff, Issei did kind of went to, well, they were about to leave, but mostly they kind of dragged Issei to kind of get some clothing to change from his like black usual clothing. This is where, well, Issei bought a couple of things, mostly a black kind of mostly a black and grayish kind of outfit that kind of looks like an assassin outfit for a second. Just because why not? Of course, they tried to tell him not to, but Issei refused. And of course, they decide to just make him buy another freaking pair of clothing. But yeah. So of course, this work well. The clothing that he kind of like had to get were basically these. First of all, well, he also did get another clothing that are similar to Song, basically looking like this, which made the two girls sweat off as his antics. But this is where, well, he got other clothes that mostly the two girls managed to approve. But yeah. So of course he managed to get like a gray button-up shirt with black pants and of course black shoes. Also, they did kind of make him kind of like cut his hair, mostly the spikes around it, just to get like a shave. But yeah, doesn't wear it well. It kind of looks like a little bit like Song, okay? They also kind of made him get like a white button-up, like, well, not white button-up, mostly a white kind of coat with a darker gray kind of like button-up shirt with black belt and of course like I guess white pants. But yeah. So they managed to get him also like a blue kind of jacket, like a blue kind of grayish jacket. But yeah, this wore a white shirt and of course like dark blue jeans. But yeah, and also like brown shoes. But yeah. So the last thing they actually managed to kind of get him to wear is kind of like this, like somewhat of like looking. Well, mostly they kind of made him kind of wear like this white panda outfit. Mostly like a panda outfit that was white and black. But yeah. Issei sighs, but this is where both girls was actually happy. Kind of giggling at the fact that made him actually do it. But yeah. This is where, well, Issei's hair is kind of shaved. Of course, this is where, well, his brownish hair is still, well, still brownish, but yeah. This is where, well, they decide to kind of start going home, mostly east towards Issei's house. And when they get home, this is where, well, Mika and Goro were disappointed in not actually discovering Issei's date. But yeah. This is where they look depressed, and this is where Issei kind of says, "We're back home." This is where, well, Goro and Mika says, "Where have you all three been? We were sick and worried for you." Issei says, "We said we were going on a date." This is where, well, Goro and Mika says, "Yeah, we know." Issei says, "And we also knew that you people were trying to spy on us." This is where, well, Goro and Mika say, "We would never do something like that." Issei says, sure. Whatever, I'm going upstairs. Also, my two girlfriends are just gonna be sleeping with me. My two fiancés, someone. They say, well, they said, fine. Don't, if you are going to do something, make sure to use those protection that I told you, Issei. Issei says, I already used them when he was walking upstairs. This is where Goro and Mika just seem surprised and say, we're gonna have grandchildren! This is where both of them scream something and cheering. This is where both mostly Invil and mostly what's it called, Junko just seem blushing. They ask why Issei even said that, and this is where Issei said, if I don't do it, my parents would be depressed, and they would think I'm still a virgin. But that's not the case, since you two actually managed to take it away from me, and then I took yours away from yours. This is where, well, they're blushing madly. This is where, well, Issei is giggling at their kind of expressions and saying, still, I'm not much of a pervert, but, you know, I'm just happy. This is where, well, we go into mostly Issei deciding to play a little bit more for, well, mostly the Potato Wars, just so he can get a little bit more done, just so Technoblade will not win. So, yeah, that's the case. But the next day happened is now the parent-teacher conference, or mostly the parent open house. But other than that, I'm gonna leave it off here for kind of part 6. So, yeah. So, oh, I also forgot to mention. What is happening to Sanji? Sanji is not okay. He is right now in the hospital. Of course, Sanji is cursing Issei's name for the fact that mostly a lot of pain hurts. But yeah. This is where someone appears right in front of mostly Sanji's bed. And of course, this is where he is holding a phone. And of course, this is where, well, think of, what's it? So, think of mostly the warden being Barry, and of course, mostly the graveyard being Sanji. Just taking a picture, but yeah. And mostly a skeleton is holding it up and just taking a picture. This is where, well, Sanji's like, what the fuck? Why? Why do you people hate me so much? This is where, well, Sanji's screaming, but this is where, well, it wasn't a skeleton, it was actually an Enderman kind of taking a picture. And this is the door opens, and this is where the warden and Enderman just disappeared. This is where, well, they kind of, well, girls kind of intervene, kind of saying, Sanji, are you okay? Sanji says, I'm okay, I'm just saddened. I hate Issei so much. They say, so why? I hate that damn green creature that keeps coming out of nowhere. What is it called? Warden? He keeps trying to hurt me so much. I hate him. Does it work? Well, they switch up, but yeah. They don't really know much what the hell's a warden, but yeah. Does it work? Well, other than that, I'll be leaving it off here for part, well, mostly 6 of this what if. Other than that, bye, see you, and yeah. Now, yeah.